Hey guys, Sharon here, back with another deck profile for Bocchi the Rock. This has been a long time coming. I'm so sorry, I've been really busy with a lot of stuff, and frankly speaking, I haven't had that much time to test Bocchi after it came out. I mean, I did play it for a bit, but then, yeah, just a lot of stuff happened. We have some more time now, which is great, and I recently just went undefeated with Bocchi at a local card game tournament at Card Art. So I was like, this is a great time to do the deck profile. I'm so sorry for all of you guys who are waiting for this and wanted to see this. But yeah, here we go. So a little bit about Bocchi. So when Bocchi first came out, I was pretty low on the set. I thought it was really mid. I thought it was really bad. That was part of the motivations of like why I didn't make the deck profile, because I just didn't think the set was very good. I was kind of sad about it. But after playing it for a while, after testing a lot, I've come around to thinking that I think Bocchi is actually quite good. I don't think it's like excellent, like top tier meta threat or whatever thing, but I actually think it's very competent as a deck. I definitely would not feel bad bringing it to a tournament. I would expect to do pretty well playing Bocchi at a tournament. I think it has actually a lot of tools and a lot of places where it's quite strong compared to other things in the meta. So yeah, I think recently, since I've started to feel that Bocchi is not a bad deck, it's starting to motivate me a little bit more to making this deck profile as well. So the deck profile I will be showcasing today is the 8-door build, which is kind of like, it's weird because it's not the most popular Bocchi build right now, even though it seems like it would be the most popular or the easiest to build, but I actually still like it a lot, and I'll talk about it once we get to level 3 game, why I still think 8 doors the build I would play compared to other options out there. So, but let's start from 0, because that's really where this deck kind of has like it's how do I say it? It's really surprisingly strong at 0. I think this was a strength of the deck that I overlooked when I was testing it when on set release and stuff like that. But since then, I started to feel like this deck's level 0 game is honestly pretty phenomenal. So 4 copies of the Bocchi Choi no Choi Aqua. It's pretty just generic plussing. On death, you pay 1, clock yourself from top deck to reveal top 2 and add any music character or the event, the Bocchi event specifically. And being out of the event is honestly such a huge boon to this deck because both events are really good, and not missing on those events is quite nice. And then obviously we'd rather a clock from waiting room. Honestly, if a clock from waiting room, this card would be so good because it would help us get our experience easily. But a clock from top deck, it is what it is. We just count that as an extra mill. Okay, the card that really sets Bocchi apart, I think at level 0 is the Bocchi double rare Rize, Stock Bomb Rize. Oh my gosh, this card. So when this card first came out, I was really upset because I was really upset it was an on reverse Rize and not an on death Rize, because there's some other cards that like the 3-2 early play Rio. It's like it sends it from stage to waiting room. I'm like, dude, if it was an on death Rize, when we pay the cost, we would be able to use the Rize effect. I'm like, it's so sad that it's on reverse. But I've kind of come around to it again because I think like, even though it's on reverse, which is not the best timing in the world, it's still really freaking good because it's on a stock bomb, right? Stock bomb is so good in a meta where a lot of decks have on death cards that they want to actually hit the waiting room at level 0, like this kind of aqua effect, right? And just being able to run a stock bomb to counter those threats is excellent, right? This basically means at level 0, no matter what our opponent is really doing, apart from using runners, they can't really get advantage, right? And like runners aren't very popular right now, so stock bombs are like really good. But the problem with stock bombs is that if they don't have another good secondary effect, it's usually not worth running them, right? And so we've seen a lot of really good stock bombs in the past, but I feel like most stock bombs, their secondary effect is like it's like extra tech, right? Like for example, the Xion clock bomb, which is like, or bomb deck bomb, which is like it can minus a level, or like you have some stock bombs that like when your opponent plays a climax, it goes to stock, right? So it's like it's another cool niche effect, but it's not like an effect that you would want to use every single time. On reverse Rize is simply put just an effect that you would want to use like all throughout the game, right? Just being able to have a card that you can crash into something and mill 3, fix your hand, mill out the rest of your deck during combat, which is like a really good timing to specifically mill out the rest of your deck because you don't know how much you need to mill. It's just an effect that you always want to use at all stages of the game, and the fact that it's on the stock bomb means you get to run 4, and it just feels amazing. It feels amazing to run this card at 4. That's honestly crazy. And then because the stock bomb effect requires it to get reversed, it actually synergizes very well with the fact that it needs to be reversed for the Rize effect. So it's like, it's kind of like you just crash it and get all the effects, and it's really good. So this card honestly playing with this card, it just feels amazing. Not very many decks get to run 4 like removal bombs and feel good about it, but Bocchi is definitely one of the decks that can do it. And it is really strong. That card is crazy, honestly. Such a like a simple effect, yet it's like so powerful. All right, and then we're on 4 Nichika Brainstormers. The list I played with this past weekend only ran 3. I don't know why I was only running 3. I think I haven't updated this deck in a while. Should be running 4. The Soul Trigger is just amazing. +1 hand side is cheating. Salvage Brainstormer. So generally speaking, I just have 2 in the back row, which is why you want 4. So you can just have 2. Because like if you're running a Brainstormer at 3, usually you have like a secondary back row that you're running it with. But this deck just runs just the Nichika back row. So like, yeah, I don't know why I was running 3. Should run 4. All right, this card I was running 2 of over the weekend. It should, oh sorry, running 1 of. It should be run at 2, I think. This card is also like freaking crazy because it's on play 2 or more other draw ditch, and then on play discard a music draw. So it's just like double draw for free, which is like, it's actually so insane because like there's a card in Heaven's Burn Red which is like on play pay 1 ditch 1 draw 2 ditch 1. So it's like you get a draw 2 ditch 2, but you have to pay a stock, and this is just draw 2 ditch 2 without paying a stock, and it has more power. So it's like, what the heck? Yeah, so this card is crazy. I was only running at 1, but it really should be run at 2. You could run honestly up to 4. I think in standby I would run 4 of this. This card is just like, it's just too insane, right? Yeah, just a really good card. You know how many games that you clock draw 2 and you're like, wow, those 2 cards just changed my life? I mean, you just get to do that again for free, right? This is one of the reasons why 8 door feels really good. It's like you never miss climax early on because you can just draw 2 more cards every single turn that you need to by getting this card, and you just like grab the climax you need. So that's pretty good. All right, running 2, drop salvage. This also puts the event from waiting room into memory. This is how we kind of cheat the events into memory without having to pay stock for them. It's a really useful card. I basically, a lot of times, like I'll be overhand, and then I'll like grab copies of this just to like convert extra hand into free compression and also free stock because I don't have to pay for the events. And this is also just what helps us get to endgame with way more than like the 6 prerequisite stock, because we don't have to pay for the events, and so helps us with our finishers because it's effectively free stock for the deck. And then drop salvage, obviously just a good on-demand way to get cards that you need. So very good. All right, 1 climax swap. This is Ina without the soul trigger, so top check to rearrange as well. Just a really good effect. Honestly, if it had the soul trigger, it'd be broken, but it's still really good. And then we have 1 copy of the. This is a level swap, so you can choose a card in your level and a card in your waiting room, swap them. So it's pretty good for getting experience, also getting color. This is a 3-color deck, and we do want to play all 3 colors by level 3, so this is really helpful. And then also pay 1, send this from station waiting room, check top 4 for level 1 or higher. Helps us grab events, and we don't run that many zeros. I think we're on, how many zeros is this? It's 12, 14, 16, 18 zeros, right? So pretty normal zero count, so this is not really going to miss too much, and it's good for extra mill as well. Being able to grab the events also is really nice. Yeah, so level 0, pretty straightforward, 18 zeros. Feels pretty comfortable. You want to play a lot of zeros so you can tri-field early, because this deck doesn't have hand problems, but you want as much stock and damage as possible, right? Level 1, of course, we're playing the level 1 Bocchi combo. This is just Ichika. It is actually just the Ichika combo. It's exactly the same thing, I think. Or Ichika gets, not Ichika, sorry, Itsuki. Itsuki gets power when you use a startup. This just gets power when we have 3 or more other? 3 or more other. So, yeah, I mean, it's just it's just a good combo. Itsuki combo like this, which is like on attack, discard, top check 3, add all traits, or in this case, traits in the event. It's really good if you cancel early, and it's really bad if you don't cancel early. Like if you take a bunch of damage, then you know there's a bunch of climaxes in your deck, so like this is like not as good. But I think in this deck it's not that bad if your combos aren't as good, because you have so much plus from other ways. You can plus with the on death effect. Your brainstorms are really good, and you always like keep getting them. So I feel like a lot of times if I like don't cancel early, I just don't go for the combo, because it's like 8 door. You still get a lot of hand advantage anyways, and you don't need as much hand as the Itsuki deck because you're not trying for a triple. I'll get to the finisher lines, but it's actually a lot more forgiving in this deck. You just need stock, so sometimes just brainstorm and then like try to compress anyways. You can always grab the climax with like the draw 2 or the climax swap, and then you can always grab these. So I feel like you don't always have to go for the combo, like every single turn, or like every single time you hit level 1. You just kind of like it's a lot more flexible. You can like play for what your deck state is demanding, right? And the deck still pluses pretty well. Alright, 2 copies of Futari. This is like one of the reasons why the stock bomb is really good. So both this Futari and the level 3 Ryo synergize with the stock bomb. So this Futari is on play. You can discard any card from your hand and then salvage a character from your waiting room level equal to the number of this level 0 Bocchi in your waiting room. So it can always salvage a 0, guaranteed. And then with just 1, you can always salvage a 1. And then obviously with 3, you can salvage anything. And so the fact that it can salvage a 0, just no matter what, gets you access into brainstorm really easily, any of your mill options really easily, another salvage. So you can like do this, grab this, no problem, and then this will grab something you actually want from your waiting room. This will always grab this. So this into this is always a draw 2. So this, like, it just basically it hand fixes like super well. And then the moment you have 1 stock bomb, this grabs another copy of itself or the level 1 combo. So you basically always just get combo. You can recur really, really well with this deck. This is something that like the Itsuki deck, they had to like pay 1 stock for like the Cigarettes effect, and it was like random based off of your mills. So sometimes you like use the Cigarettes effect and you mill 2 zeros and you're like really sad, you can't get the combo, right? But this one is just guaranteed you can get it from this. Based on the number of this, you can always like guaranteed get what you want, which is like really, really strong. So yeah, this card's crazy. Yeah. I mean, this card is so good. Alright, I'm running 1 copy of the Bocchi being tied at the stake. This card is kind of like the high ceiling spice of the deck, where this card's a pretty good beater, so it's like a drop assassin plus 500 on play for each of your music characters. But then the crazy effect is on play you can discard a card to grab one of your the event in memory to add it back to your hand. And so like basically it allows us to reuse events if we like use an event but want to get access to it again. But because of this drop search, which allows us to put an event from waiting room to memory for free, this actually is like it's kind of like a interesting bond engine where we put the event into memory for free and then we grab it back from memory to use, right? So it's kind of cool where it's like together it's like an event bonder, but separately they also work really well like individually. Like we don't need to use the bond effect, we just want the events in memory in the first place. And then we don't even need to use these to send the events to memory. We can just play the event, it goes to memory, and then grab it back, right? And so this is one of the main ways we can reuse the 2-on event, because I'm only running 1 copy. So you can use the 2-on event or send it to memory earlier, and then use this to grab it out to use it again, right? So I think that's something that people don't expect, and this is like really good for. Also, early game we can like send an event to memory, and then if we need a search effect, we can just play this, discard any card from our hand, grab the event, and then play it to get the search. So it's really good as a one-up. It helps like flex into a lot of different situations where you really want this card or need this card to come up. I think it's really good. And it's also just a good like level 1 beater. Alright, playing 1, Stalkadachi. I mean, I think it's pretty important to have some way to out like level 3 boards, especially now that like Overlord's dead. A lot of people are getting pretty aggressive with like their level 3 standby decks and stuff like that. So just having this at level 1 is really nice. And then the second effect, it comes up because it's like you get a lot of hand in this deck, and then if you don't get enough Nichigo Brainstorms, you're going to be overhand all the time. So this can just convert 2 hand into a heal pretty easily while you're doing that. So it's really nice. Alright, and then for the event suite, of course, 3 level 1, 1 level 2 event. So level 1 is a mask, on play search, and then goes to memory. And then the level 2 event gives a character 4k power, and then you stock show your opponent. You have to shuffle their stock back into your deck, and then they stock the same amount. So it's not as good as a normal stock swap where the stock goes to the waiting room, but it's a lot more useful in all situations, right? Like there's no bad stock swap with this. You just kind of use it if your opponent's stock is clean, and then you have a chance to like hitting a climax. And if it shuffles clean back, then nothing's lost, right? And you still get the 4k power, which does come up, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so 2-1, and then we obviously 2-1 because we can reuse it with this card. Otherwise, it would be 2-2. If you're not running this card, you need 2 copies of this because this does come up quite often at both levels 2 and 3. So if you really want it. All right, 1 copy of the Fumio. Fumio's crazy, has 2 soul. That's pretty nice already. So like power doesn't matter. 2-1, 2 soul, pretty good, and then has the Fumio effect. So pay 1, ditch 1, and then your opponent leaves 1 climax out, shuffles everything else back in. So you can do like stock swap Fumio in this deck. It's not as impactful because once again your opponent's not losing your opponent's not milling the stock. So if the stock is clean, you're not gonna be able to guarantee shuffle those clean cards back. But you can still stock swap Fumio if your opponent's like decompressed So you stock out first, right? If their stock is clear, you have a chance to hit one, and then you Fumio the rest. So it's like it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely a play you can still do in this deck. And one of the reasons why I think this set's actually not bad. You do have like really good anti-compression tools for pretty cheap resource-wise. All right, 3 copies of the early play Ryo. I'm playing 3 mostly because we need to hit experience 6 in this deck. Otherwise, I think this card's not that good, so I'd probably play less. But you also kind of want to like naturally be able to draw into these without having to like really work for them, because it's like a level 3, so it's kind of hard to sculpt because your level 1 combo doesn't select, and then the main way of getting selective resources is using the Futari to salvage, but then it's kind of hard to salvage a 3. And if you do have the chance to salvage a 3, you're usually trying to salvage endgame piece, not the 3-2 Ryo. So I guess 3 is a good number for it to like naturally show up in our hand over the course of like the level 1, level 2 game, so we can play it. And we usually try to level 1 of these for experience and color. So yeah, so it's an early play turtle less climaxes, which is pretty hard to control in this deck, honestly. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like it too much. It's pretty hard to play as an early play, but then it is also a free healer. You can sack a stock bomb Bocchi from the field to the waiting room as cost instead of paying the 2 to play it from hand for free, which is really nice. Like costless healer is pretty good, and basically +2 stock in the grand scheme of things, right? And then also, yeah, last effect on play heal. All right, and then the level 3 combo of choice, we're playing level 3 Bocchi. So the popular Bocchi build right now in Japan, and I think just in general for JP Bocchi, is Door Bar. They're playing the real level 3. So real level 3 is it's very similar to Marin from Hololive. Same on play effect. Send another character from stage to waiting room. Top check 3. 1 goes to hand, 1 goes to stock. Mill the rest. And then the second effect is also very similar. Instead of on attack, it's at the end of the attack, and then instead of pay 1, ditch 1, burn 2, and get power, it's pay 1, ditch 1, burn 3, no power. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good combo, right? It's just like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. It's like 6 instances of 3 for your finisher turn. You know, it's pretty solid, and it helps you like sculpt the climax, so you don't have to hold it. Also, it's on a bar, so like it's pretty easy to get the climax. The reason I don't like that deck though, is because if you're not running this package, you're probably not running the events. You're probably not running this. And if you're not running this, I feel like you just lose a lot of like what makes this build really good, which is like free compression in the mid game, and access to like easy access to like these tools with the 1-0. So like you can like put these into memory and then get them back at like really any point. And if you don't use them, it's free compression, which is like really valuable. And I think this is kind of what your mid-game like resources are going towards, because like once again, I don't think you can consistently early phase heal in this deck. I don't think the deck has really good main phase deck control or deck speed. It's mostly like through combat. Like this is your deck speed, but you can only access your deck speed really during battle. So you're not really able to control where your deck ends up for the early play. So you're not able to spam this or loot this as much as I would like to. And so because of that, if you're playing like the mid game without this, but you're still playing like this combo, you're just gonna have a ton of hand and stock, but you have nothing to use it on. And then your level 3 Ryo combo is just like, it's not very resource intensive, and it doesn't heal. So like you'll end up with so many resources, and you don't have like a anti-damage counter or like a rest counter or anything, any like defensive tools to use after your combo. So it's like you're just gonna die with like a bunch of hand and a bunch of stock, basically, is how I feel like that deck is. Whereas Bocchi, at least she heals, which is really good. And then she basically allows us to put the resources that we've been using throughout the course of the game to good use at the end. So like even after her combo, we're probably healed down a lot considerably, and then there's a chance we might not die, and we've burned all our resources, right? It's like it's pretty good. And then the combo actually is really quite strong. So it's like ditch 2, send an event from memory to waiting room, and then you mill 2, or you mill 1 twice, and then if it's a climax, you burn 2, otherwise you just burn 1. So at worst, it's just burn 1, which is Cocochino, and triple Cocochino is good, right? Like it's not like amazing, but it's a good finisher. Like if I tripled Cocochino, I should expect an opponent to be dead from 3-0 pretty much every single time, right? It's a pretty lethal from 3-0, pretty lethal from like 2-5, 2-6, honestly, a lot of the times, right? Triple Cocochino is very good, and the floor is triple Cocochino. The ceiling is like burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, burn 2, like they're absolutely dead from like 3-0, right? Like burn 2, swing for 3 on 3 lanes is like they're just dead. Like that's like one of the best combos in the game. And the thing is, if you don't mill the climax, then that means that you milled clean, which is you're like milling towards the climax that you're either going to trigger, which is like not ideal, or you're going to be milling towards the climax for your future Bocchi. So there's like a pretty good chance with like between 2 and 3 Bocchis to mill climaxes to access that burn 2. And then if you trigger that burn 2, then yeah, the ceiling of this combo goes way up in my opinion. So I think it's pretty good. And even if it was just all burn 1s, ditch 2 for burn 1 is still like pretty good, considering like, again, the event makes this free, so it's like it's pretty good. But the real reason why I think Bocchi is the play, and 8 Door is the play compared to Bar really, is actually the supplementary finishers. Is these 2 cards. All right. So the real deal with Bocchi as a set is actually like all the finishers are bad because the best finisher in the set is Nijika. This card is like single-handedly is like she is literally the best finisher. She's on attack burn 2, you pay 4 ditch 1, which is like extremely expensive, but she's burn 2 and then on play she gets cancel burn 1 twice, right? So like if her damage is canceled up to 2 times during that turn, you can burn 1, right? So like on attack, cancel burn 1, if that burn 1 cancels burn 1 again, and then if the burn 2 gets canceled, then yeah, burn 1, right? So like this is just better than both Rio and Bocchi, right? Because like if you think about Bocchi, like on a good day, she's like burn 2, burn 1, but this on a good day is like burn 2, burn 1, and then the swing, right? Because like if any of those get canceled, she just gets access to her burn 1. Like it's pretty likely that she's gonna burn at least once, if not both times. And like if she doesn't burn both times, it means that your opponent took at least 3 damage, which is like pretty good, right? It means they canceled the normal swing and then they took the burn 2 and the burn 1, which is like that's honestly already pretty good. That's like basically the same thing as like it's better than Bocchi, right? Like if Bocchi is burn 1 and they cancel her normal swing, Bocchi only did 2 damage, but this did 3 damage, right? So if you could triple Nijika consistently in Bocchi, that would actually be your best finisher, like screw climax combo, right? But the problem is nothing can consistently, even double Nijika is like 10 stock or something, right? It's very, very expensive to do. So we can't access this card as like basically we can only do 1 Nijika in the finisher combo at most, but that 1 Nijika is better than anything else you're running in the finisher combo, right? So basically triple Bocchi is actually not as good as double Bocchi Nijika. So double Bocchi Nijika is 8 stock because the Nijika needs to attack last and then you pay 4, right? But the thing is, double Rio Nijika is also 8 stock, even though Rio costs 1 less to play because her climax combo costs 1 stock to activate, even though it's at the end of the attack. It is still the same stock cost as Bocchi. So like there's really no reason to be playing Rio because it's not cheaper stock wise for the ultimate like high ceiling for the Bocchi set, which is double finisher plus whatever plus Nijika, right? And then the thing about Rio being able to help you get the climaxes is a moot point when we consider that this Rio is like the most busted like climax support card in like I've ever seen, right? So it's on play, you can sack a character to salvage climax, which is like already really custom. It's better than discarding because like usually you can just have like a useless character on your board, or you like sack a back row that you don't need to get the climax. Is like freaking amazing. And then the second effect is crazy because it's at the end of the when this card attacks, you can pay 2 and then pay out the rest of your stock, and your opponent shuffle backs 3 cards from their waiting room. So this completely blindsides people because they're not ready for it. So they'll like end with 1 card left in deck and it's clean. And so you just play this and then attack with this first, lose all your stock, and then you shuffle back 3 clean, and then they just eat 4 clean off the top, right? It's so good. Just the fact that that's on a card that grabs your climax is just insane, right? So like basically you just go double Bocchi and then one of these to wrap it up, or you go like single Bocchi, one of this. That's like a really good finisher turn, and you just have like so many resources like available for you, right? Although I think if you do 1-1-1, this is pretty hard to activate. So it's usually double Bocchi and then one of these, right? And the thing is with this reel, this works with the other reel too, but then it's kind of redundant, right? Because the other reel is helping you grab climaxes and cards from the top 3, whereas this just automatically gets you your climax. So like if you're running those 2 together, it's kind of like you're not really utilizing the Ryo's on-play effect as much. You'd rather have a heal, and Bocchi is a heal. So like, I'd rather just heal twice and then use this Ryo to get my climax every single time. 6 stock guaranteed. Like, we get double Bocchi combo plus a shovel back 3 at the end, which is pretty good, right? So I mean, that's why I think Dora is better. I just think this level 3 finisher line is just like, it's too good. These cards are basically better than whatever combo you could be playing. And then Bocchi's the one combo that like, I guess like gives you the most value outside of just the combo, because it also heals, and it doesn't use any resource like stock for the actual combo, right? All right, and then so that's why I think 8 door is the best play. But I think 8 bar is fine. You just kind of have to. I mean, if you play 8 bar, you probably don't need as many of this, but you still probably run 1. You cut this for the Ryo, and then you probably play more for your early play heal game. You can cut some of this stuff because you don't need the events, but you still play this event because that's your like best anti-compression tool. And then you probably play like more tech cards. Like, I'm not playing the 1-0 Ryo that like negs trait because as you can see, there's not a lot of real names before level 3. So that Ryo never gets power in my build at least. And so like, if you're just playing it just to neg trait, but it's not gonna be able to attack for any reasonable amount of power, it's not really worth running it. So I mean, I think like door bar is fine, but I personally think this is just better. Like, I just want heal, more access to heals, access to free compression events and stuff like that. This deck's really easy to pilot. I think it's pretty straightforward, but because of that, I think there's also a lot of areas where you can really optimize with this deck. Like a lot of times with this deck, it's just like, it's not about like how do I play it, because the deck's easy, right? But it's like, how do I play it to like the fullest potential? Like, how do I make sure I end with like maximum compression? I mill down to exactly the number of cards I want, right? And I think that's why this card, honestly, is so good for that. Because like, a lot of times, like, if you want to mill, you can't choose the exact number of cards you want to mill between like whatever number, right? But between these 2 cards, you basically have exact like mill control. You can like draw 1 card or draw 2 cards because they're on 2 separate effects, so you don't have to like commit to drawing 2. And then for this one, you can just reveal as much as you want, up to 3, right? So yeah, I don't know. This deck's really good. So yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna talk about this again for the English release of this set, for Tressa. So like, I guess you'll hear some more of my thoughts during that time. I'm pretty sure for English, some of this will also be changed to match the English meta at the time. But I think for a shell, this list is really solid. I've been having a lot of fun with this and a lot of success with this. And I think, yeah, so I think Bocchi is actually quite a good. At least this list I think is quite good. I would be very happy taking this to a tournament. As you can see, it does put out results, so that's really cool. Alright, let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comment section. I almost said description, I don't know why. But yeah, I haven't made a deck profile in a while, so I feel like this one was a lot more rambly than usual. I'm sorry about that, but you know, I'm glad to be doing this kind of stuff again. This is really fun. Doing a lot of judging and other stuff, but yeah, I would like to get back to doing normal content creation and doing some more commentary videos. It's been a while since we've done one of those, but yeah, I don't know. Weiss is fun. Good game. Alright, that's it for this time. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.